Elena. So you and Mauricio, you have the ribbons. Okay, so each of you should take a ribbon.
They're individually wrapped.
And you put it on your garment. You can take it out of the plastic.
And they're actually self-tearing. They tear from below. Grab the bottom and rip.
Okay. Let's say, we're going to say a special prayer. Repeat after me. Baruch. Dayan. Ha'emet. Yeah, it means blessed are you, God, the true judge. And what it basically is saying is that even though this is a difficult time, we understand that, that God is the judge of the world, and we accept God's judgments upon the world. So, very hard time for everybody, but recognize a life that was lived properly.
Rabbi?
Yes.
Can you please just make me a co-host?
I'm going to do that right now.
Thank you. Okay.
Okay, and Maharat, I'm going to put this up, and you tell me if you can see Elena and Mauricio when I put this up.
Okay.
Okay, are you able to see them? If not,
Is that Elena standing there with the blue mask?
yes.
Okay. Yes, we can see them.
If Mauricio, you move on the other side of Elena. Sure. No, Elena, you stay where you are. Can you see Mauricio?
Yeah, right. Yes, now, yeah, and we can also see another gentleman in a blue mask. I can't tell who they are.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I will be speaking. I just want to know if you can be heard.
Can you hear Marat? Can you hear?
Yes. So yeah. Hang on. I am going to, for a moment, I'm going to mute everyone and then unmute you, Rabbi. One moment. Okay.
Are you able to hear Mauricio?
I believe so. Yes. Is he standing to Elena's right?
Why don't you do a test? Say,
Sure, Mahat. Hello. It's Mauricio. I don't know how well you can hear me, but I also have my phone if need be.
Okay, so I could hear him. Can other folks just yay, nod if you could hear him? Okay, it looks like folks can hear. So please make sure to speak loudly the whole time.
Yeah, I'll be very
loud. And that should work. Okay. Okay. Thank you. Thank you. I'm sorry about your father.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Okay, Mara, we're all here so we can start the service.
Okay, should we wait until just 2 more minutes until 1 o'clock when we said we would start? If that's okay. So, I'll use this time before we officially start the service just to offer a bit of an explanation of how this will work. So first of all, my name is Ruth Friedman. I'm one of the members of the clergy at Oheb Shalom, along with Rabbi Hertzfeld, who you can hear but not see. He is at the cemetery. And so I just, of course, wanted to introduce myself. I'm sorry that we are all here together today to say goodbye to Alex. Rabbi, I'm just going to mute you for a moment because there's a lot of back noise. And so the way that this will work is that I am at my home so that I can help with the Zoom logistics. And so just because the possibility of a lot of background noise could really interrupt the service, what we've done is I'm the co-host, and so I have muted everyone. And then if I will unmute someone when it's their time to speak. If you would like to share a word or to say something and you want to get my attention, what you can do is if you are familiar with Zoom or if you're not familiar with Zoom, at the bottom of the Zoom window, one of the icons says chat, and you can enter a chat there, and then you can chat me privately, or you can chat the group, and that way I'll be sure to be keeping an eye on that as well. And so I will just chat here as an example so that you can see what it looks like. And that way, that's a way that we can all communicate without the actual sound and the potential interference from the sound. So please feel free to use that as well. Are there any questions or concerns before we begin? You can chat, I guess, and then I can unmute you. I'll just give one moment. Okay, Rabbi looks good. Okay, Rabbi, sorry, Zoom is just being a little bit great. Okay, now you should be unmuted now, Rabbi.
Yeah, the arrow is already here, so.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what should we, are we lowering now or what should we begin?
So we're gonna start with some Psalms.
Okay.
And then, why don't you explain the service and recite some Psalms, and then I'll recite Psalm 91.
Okay. Okay, so just I know that we have a range of folks from a wide range of backgrounds, so again wanted to welcome you. I know that some folks might be at their first Jewish funeral, and so we just wanted to offer a little bit of background. The funeral, the service will have some psalms, and then a few of Alexander's family and loved ones will share some words about him. And like I said, if there's anyone who wants to add, you can please just chat in the window and then we'll see, and then I can unmute you. After we do that, we offer, I should say, before we speak, the rabbi will recite Psalm 91, which is a custom to be recited as part of the funeral service. And then after the eulogies, I will recite another memorial prayer, and I'll explain and translate as we go. Everything is done in Hebrew, but also then with English translation. And there are, and then part of the Jewish funeral is the lowering of what we call the aron, the coffin, into the earth, and then also the burial process as well. Now, if it were a large crowd there, that might all be done by hand, but just to expect that some of it today might be done with a machine because it's a big, sorry, excuse me, a bigger job as well. And so that will happen. And I'm just, goodness, I don't know how to turn this off. Okay, I apologize. And then that will happen, and then we will and then there will be a couple more prayers, and then we transition at that point to Elena and Maurizio being the mourners, and then there'll be a little bit as well. And so it's a beautiful way of marking the steps of the grieving of the moment, which is to first speak about the person who has passed and then transition also to caring for the family as well. And so I will now begin with begin by reading Psalm 23 in both Hebrew and then in English. Mizmor LeDavid, Adonai ro'i lo echsar, bin'ot deshe yarbiteni, amei menuchot yinahaleni. Nafshi yeshovev, yancheni b'magle tzedek lema'an shemo. Gam ki elech begeitz hamavet, lo irara ki ata imadi. Shiftecha umishantecha hema yenachamuni. Ta'aroch lefanai shulchan neged sorabai. Dishanta b'shemen roshi kosi revaya. Ach tov v'chesed yerdefuni kol yemei chayai. V'shafti b'veit Adonai le'orach yamim. A song of David. The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not lack. God causes me to lie down in lush pastures. God leads me beside tranquil waters. God restores my soul and guides me in righteous paths for God's name's sake. Though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for you are with me. Your scepter and staff, they comfort me. You prepare a table before me in full view of my adversaries. You have anointed my head with oil, my cup overflows. May only goodness and kindness pursue me all the days of my life, and I shall dwell in the house of the Lord for length of days. Rabbi, were you going to do Psalm 91 now?
Yeah, we're going to recite Psalm 91, which is a prayer often to its final earthly resting place. And it's a prayer that asks for the angels.
We can't hear you in case you're speaking with us.
So ascends to heaven. Yoshev v'seter al yom b'tzel
Can anyone else hear him?
Omar Adonai nachsim tzidati arahayach nacho ki hu yatzlecha mipach yafush mideva avot v'evrato yasachach v'tachat v'nachach tachaseh tzina v'sachira mito v'tira mipach halayla michetz ya'uf yomam mideva ba'ofer yaroch mikotav yashut tzarayim yipol mitzidcha erach uvava miminecha אליך לא ייגש, רק בעיניך תביט ושלמת ושלום תראה. כי אתה אדוני מחזיר יום שמת מעונך, ותונה אליך רעה ונגע לא יקרב בעליך. כי מעלך יצא ברך שמך בכל דרכיך. Because God will command the angels to watch you in all of your ways and in all of your travels. That is the prayer that we have for our dear friend Alexander, the son of Linda, and may the angels watch him in all of his travels. Then we ask the Maharat to continue. Okay, I don't see the Maharat, so I don't know if anything happened to her, but until the Maharat comes back, we will hear now from Mauricio, Alex's son, Alex and Elena's son. Can you see yourself in the picture?
Yes.
Okay.
From the day you were born and lit up your mother Bella's eyes, to the day you met my mother Elena and lit up her heart, to the day you held me when I was born and lit up my life, until the day I held you when you returned to universe and lit up our souls with your memories. You, Alexander, my father, have always been a guiding light for us all. And from today on, may your light always be with us, so that when the sun rises and the sun sets, your light is with us. When a candle is lit, your light is with us. When a fireplace provides warmth, your warmth is with us. And we gaze upon the bright faces of your grandchildren. May it remind us that your light shines bright with us, a beacon for us to follow your path of good deeds in your life, to be more patient with one another, to care a little bit more, to laugh a little bit louder, to give no matter how tired or poor, to be compassionate, not just passionate, to think before speaking, and to always look into another's eyes when offering help when help is needed, and love when love is vacant. I spoke and you listened. I asked and you gave. I do something wrong, you always forgave. I joked and you laughed. I cried and you consoled. I'd fall down, you picked me up. My hand you would hold. Mistakes I would make, you helped me to improve, to do my best. Advice I would seek, you offered nothing less. This is who you were and who you are here on earth, Alex, my father, tried and true. And yet you are not just this way with me, but with everyone you knew. I vow to honor your soul and memory by continuing to try every day to instill your light into the lives of my children, our family, our friends, our neighbors, and the world you so beautifully graced with your kind and generous spirit. We love you, Alexander. I love you, Dad.
Amen. Is the Maharat here? Okay. Hold on 1 second. Maharat?
Yes, I lost my host status because I had to cancel. I had to leave and come back in.
Okay, Maharat, would you like to share some words?
Yes, absolutely. I have only known Alexander, Alex, and Elena in the past handful of years, and so unfortunately I did not get to know Alex in perhaps a time when he was able to communicate more and to share more, especially in a public and crowded space like the synagogue. But so Elena, today I wanted to speak to you, and just to say that from the moment I saw you and Alex, I so deeply just was so moved and continued to be so moved by the pure care and love that you showed to him at every single moment that you were together. I've never seen anyone care for another person with so much love and so much tenderness and giving fully of yourself to someone, to your husband, whom I know you loved so, so much. And we say that at the Jewish funeral, that the mitzvah, the commandment, the obligation to bury the dead is really called a chesed shel emet. A chesed is something that you do for someone else that goes above and beyond what might be expected of someone. And emet means truth. And so our rabbis say that caring for someone in their time of death is a chesed shel emet, an act of pure selflessness and generosity that is also an act of truth. And the reason they say that is because when we care for someone who is living, there always might be a chance that we could have in the back of our minds, well, I'm doing this nice thing for them so that one day they will do something nice for me. But the reason that caring for someone in their time of death is a chesed shel emet is because that person cannot repay them. And really, Elena, even though that chesed shel emet might technically start today, I know that for you, it started the moment you met Alex, and especially when he got sick, and that you always cared so much for him, never expecting, of course, anything in return, but really an act just out of pure love. And I'm sorry that I cannot be there with you physically today, but please take comfort in knowing that the love that you shared for him and the care that you showed for him just radiates past and is really something tremendous. And I hope that you're able to hold that with you today. I also wanted to use this opportunity just to read the short obituary that had been written by the family. On Thursday, May 7th, 2020, Alexander Tscherny, loving husband and father, passed away at the age of 93. Alex was born on June 10th, 1926, in Berlin, Germany. Alex and his brother George fled Nazi-occupied Germany to Holland after Kristallnacht. Having to return to Berlin to secure travel visas, and with the aid of several Jewish organizations, they safely made passage to the United States on June 10th, 1941, his birthday. Alex received his master's degree in International Business Administration from Mexico City College, University of the Americas, and worked internationally for the Northwood Institute, the Organization of American States, USAID, the Library of Congress, and others. He shared his passion for languages and cultures with his wife of 46 years, Elena, and they frequently traveled around the world together. He was also an avid stamp and coin collector, as well as a jazz enthusiast, hobbies he shared with his son, Maurice. Alex was known for his kindness and compassion, his beautiful smile, and love for his family. Alex was preceded in death by his father, Mendel, and his mother, Bella. He is survived by his wife, Elena, his son, Maurizio, his grandchildren, Cassian and Avi, his brother, George, and his niece, Carla.
And thank you, Marat, for those words. I'm going to take a few steps back and remove my mask so that I can be heard better. So, with great sadness, we are here to say goodbye to a physical goodbye to our dear friend Alex, even though spiritually we know we'll be connected now at all times. Physically, we won't be able to see him physically, but spiritually we'll feel his presence. I knew Alex only as an older man. Elena brought him before he became sick and was unable to remember more and more, but I had the merit to meet him before he lost his memory. But even though I only met him in his declining years, to meet him was to be touched by somebody who has the Hebrew word chen, and that means when you say chen, it's like a grace, that a person has this aura of kindness, of goodness, that just emanates from him. When you're in the presence of Alex, you felt you were in the presence of someone who was all good, all kind, all gracious, all compassionate. You really felt like you were in the presence, just this warm feeling, a feeling that pushed us all to be better, to try and live up to the way of life that he was living. The family chose, in writing his obituary, to talk about the fact that he was a coin collector and a stamp collector. Do you know who else was a coin collector and a stamp collector? God. The Mishnah tells us that God created one coin, and that one coin has many different faces. A coin, a person, like a mint, creates one coin, and all the coins have the same face. But God created one coin, and all the coins have different faces. And the same with stamps. God, the Mishnah, the Talmud, the holy sacred Jewish writings, compares the act of collecting coins to the divine act of creating a human being. And I take comfort from that in thinking about Alex, because Alex, just like the Talmud teaches us that God created each coin with its own unique image, so too Alex, the way he looked at another person, looked at that person in a divine way, in a way of seeing every person for their own greatness, for their own individuality, for their own specialness. And the other way in which, another aspect of the obituary which the family chose to include, was about Alex's love for jazz, for music. This too is a divine quality. We say in our Psalms, let there be a new song in praise of God. Every time a soul comes in and impacts the world, it is a new song in service of God. I used to be so inspired when Alex would come in to the synagogue and to the service, and he would hear the sounds of the cantor, the sounds of the songs in the synagogue, and he would be moved and inspired, and he would be transformed to the days of his youth, where he used to pray in the synagogues. And I want to take in that moment and just give the highest praise to Elena who recognized that even though she did not grow up in the Jewish faith, in the Jewish community, she recognized how essential it was for Alex to have this in his life. It is entirely because of Elena that Alex is being buried in accordance with the highest level of the Jewish tradition. That is a testament to her great and tremendous love for her husband, Alex. The Talmud tells us that, the Talmud says, what does God do in God's spare time? This is the way the Talmud speaks. Talmud says, what does God do in God's spare time? The Talmud says that God makes matches between husband and wife. Only a God could have made such a beautiful match between Alex and Elena. 46 years of pure devotion, of pure love. And Elena, I want you to hear this, that I brought from my home a Torah scroll. Sometimes when a Torah scroll is not able to be used, we bury it. And the highest honor in our Jewish tradition is to bury an older Torah scroll with a person. And I brought a Torah scroll to be buried with Alex. I brought in that bag to be buried with Alex this morning. So it is my prayer that everybody on the Zoom, on this service, be there for Elena, for the family in the coming days. It's also my prayer that we take from Alex these lessons of how we look at everybody with their own stamp with their own special coin, with their own worth, their own individual worth, the way Alex would have. That we look at everybody and try to hear their new song. Because Alex was about seeing the song in everyone. That is my prayer. May his soul be bound up in the bonds of life. May his neshama, may his soul ascend to heaven. And let us hear, as our Maharat leads us, in the traditional Keil Malei Rachamim.
Thank you. Before we do that, when I signed off, did cousin Gigi have a chance to speak yet?
No, she did not.
Okay.
Did we speak yet? No, she can speak now.
Okay, I'm gonna unmute you now.
Okay.
Okay, you should be. Are you there? Are you able to speak?
Yes, I am.
Okay, wonderful. Thank you.
I want to thank you so much for this great honor. I am Alex's cousin, and my name is Gigi Hyman Retain, and I just want to give you just a little. I just want to round out the story from another family perspective. I'm kind of the family historian, so I want to give you a little bit of information for you to hold on to about his epic life. First of all, I want to tell you just a little bit about his mother. This is the Gitta Neshama, Bella Hyman Tscherny. Bella Hyman Tscherny. And the guy next to her is my grandfather, and his name is Iyaar Hyman. And this photo was taken in Iyaar, Hungary in 1918. And it was the year that Alex's grandmother died. It was the year of the great pandemic. It was the Spanish flu. And this Bella, she was the consummate Gitta Neshama, the good soul. And it was probably no coincidence. She was good, she was kind, she was sweet, and she was loving. But, and everybody in our family here today knows about Bella and her reputation for her goodness. But she was not only good, and the family not only knew that, but she had the quiet ability to engineer the strategic moves that enabled her to save her family time and time again. It began when she moved her family from Hungary to Germany. Her husband Mendel, her son George, and then Alex was born in 1926 in Berlin, in the home, as families stick together, of her brother Iyaar, with his wife Yetka, my father Kurt, and my uncle Gerhard. So, but Alex really had to learn very early how to make do with hardships. He and his brother had to endure a very hard scrabble childhood because they were the children of immigrants who barely could scrape by in the 1920s and the 1930s in the working class section of Moabit in Berlin. But Alex was able to cope. And he was able to cope constructively because he loved singing. And he was such a good singer that he was asked to participate in a choir in the Lützowstrasse Synagogue in Berlin, along with his brother. And the bonus, of course, was that they were able to make a little pocket money, which was always helpful in those times. But consequently, it left him with a great love of music. And as it happened, in the last day and days of his life, he was soothed by the songs and the music of his son sitting next to him by his side. Alex's undefeatable inner strength was honed when he, at the age of 12, and his brother, at the age of 14, boarded a train in December of 1938 in the aftermath of Kristallnacht. They were bound for Holland and a very uncertain destiny. But somehow, in the thick of that wartime and all of its perils, Alex did not lose his focus. He learned trades, he got an education, and he participated actively in the schools that were set up for these itinerant Jewish children in Holland. And for fun, Cassian, there was always the pleasure of catching mice in the dormitory, because this was the era before virtual entertainment. Well, all of these experiences and many, many more sharpened Alex's instincts. And it was for the ultimate purpose of making the best decision of his life, his marriage to Elena. Once Alex took me aside and he explained, you know, Gigi, I married Elena because I realized she was extraordinary and because she had excellent legs. Well, guy, obviously, you know, he's a guy, I say, you know, and she was the ultimate package, and he was smart enough to realize it. So they had truly a storybook romance for 46 years. They made the most of life together every day. And I personally have never witnessed such a mutual devotion. Their mission really was to make each other happy. And that joy managed to spill over to parents, to siblings, to nieces and nephews, to cousins, to friends, to colleagues, and even to strangers. And then, of course, entered their adored son, Maurice. He was the apple of their eye, and he was a source of enrichment for all of us. I always knew that getting together with Alex, Elena, Maurice, and family would mean rollicking, and I mean rollicking adventure. But additionally, it would mean meaningful dialogue. They always found a way to make the tent bigger. And then entered their wonderful grandchildren, Cassian and Avi. And that was just pure, pure nachas. It was, however, in Alex's declining years that really his golden essence emerged. We saw his patience, his cooperation, his kindness, his gentleness, his warmth, and his love. And I want to ask that his generosity of spirit and his kindness of heart will continue to live in all of us. Thank you.
Amen. Thank you so much. Thank you. One moment. Okay. So I thank you. That was really beautiful. I appreciate you sharing. I will now recite the Talmale Rechamim prayer. I'll do it in Hebrew and then in English as well. And this is a prayer that asks God to shelter Alex's neshama, to shelter his soul as it ascends to heaven. Talmale Rechamim shochen bamromim, Hamzei menucha nechona al kanfei hashchina, b'ma'alot kedoshim v'tehorim, kezor harakia matirim, et nishmat Alexander ben Mendel v'Bella, shehalach le'olamo, ba'avur she'anachnu mipalalim ba'ad haskarat nishmato, began eden tehei menuchato. Lachein ba'al rachamim, yaskireo b'seter knafav le'olamim, Bitzor chaim et nishmato. Adonai hunach lato v'yanuach b'shalom amishkavo v'nomar amen. God, full of compassion, who dwells on high, grant proper repose on the sheltering wings of your presence in the lofty levels of the holy and pure, who shine as the brightness of the firmament. Unto the soul of Alexander, son of Mendel and Bella, who has gone to his world, and for whose memory we pray. May his repose be in paradise. May the Master of Compassion bring him under the cover of God's wings and bind his soul in the bond of life. May the Lord be his heritage, and may he repose on his resting place in peace. And let us respond, Amen.
Amen. And now, my friends, we are going to watch as the Aron is lowered down by these very holy cemetery workers. We're so grateful. We're very grateful to you. Thank you. And as it's being lowered down, the Maharat will read a prayer called Siduk Hadin.
Hatzur tamim pa'alo ki chol drachav mishpat. El emunah ve'ein avel tzadik v'yashar hu. Hatzur tamim b'chol po'al mi yomar lo matif al. Hashalit b'mata uv'ma'al mimit u'mechayeh morid she'ol v'ya'an. Hatzur tamim b'chol ma'aseh mi yomar elav ma ta'aseh. Haomer ve'oseh chesed chinam lanu ta'aseh. U'vizchut hane'ekad keseh hakshiva ve'aseh. Tzadik b'chol drachav hatzur tamim, erach apayim u'malei rachamim, chamal na v'chus na al avot uvanim, ki lecha adon aslichot ve'arachamim. Tzadik ata Adonai lehamit u'lechayot, asher biyadcha pikton kol ruchot, chalila lecha zichronenu limchot, v'yiyu na einecha berachamim aleinu pechuchot, ki lecha adon harachamim ve'haslichot. Adam im ben shana yiyeh o elef shanim yichyeh. Ma yitrom lo kelo haya yiyeh. Baruch dayan ha'emet memit u'mechayeh. Baruch hu ki emet dino u'meshotet hakol be'ino. U'meshalem la'adam cheshbono v'dino. V'hakol lishmo hodaya yitenu. Yadanu Adonai ki tzedek mishpatecha. Titzdak b'dvarecha v'tiskeh b'shavtecha. Ve'en laharher achar midat shavtecha. Tzadik ata Adonai v'yashar mishpatecha. Dayan emet shofet tzedek ve'emet. Baruch dayan ha'emet. Shekol mishpatav tzedek ve'emet. Nefesh kol chai b'yadecha. Tzedek mal'a yamincha v'yadecha. Rechem al pleitat son yadecha. V'tomar v'mal'ach heref yadecha. Gadol ha'itza v'rav ha'aliliyah. Asher einecha pekuchot al kol darchei b'nei adam. Latet le'ish kidrachav. B'kefrei me'alalav. Le'agid ki yashar Adonai, tzuri v'lo vlatabo. Adonai natan ve'Adonai lakach, yehi shem Adonai mevorach. V'hu rachum yechaper avon v'lo yashrit, v'yirba le'ashiv apo v'lo ya'ir kol chamato. To declare that the Lord is just, my rock in whom there is no wrong. The Lord has given, and the Lord has taken away. Blessed is the name of the Lord.
And now Elena and Mauricio will take some of the earth from Mount of Olives in Jerusalem and sprinkle it onto the coffin. Just 1 second. Careful. What? Help you, Mom. Careful. I'll put into the Aron the Torah scroll. And now some of the family members will take some of the earth and place the earth onto the Aron using the shovels they brought from home. Be very careful. So just put this here. So okay, so now the coffin has been covered up. So now Maharat is going to lead us to the conclusion of the service. So we have basically, we're going to hear as Elena and Mauricio, along with the Maharat, will recite the mourner's Kaddish, which is the holiest prayer that can be recited. The holiest prayer that can be recited at the site of a grave.
Just tell me when you're ready.
I believe that you're ready, correct? Okay, let's listen as the Maharat leads the family in this recitation.
Yitgadal v'yitkadash shemei Rabbah. Be'alma divra chirtei v'amlich machutei. B'chayechon uv'yomechon uv'chaye dechol beit Yisrael. Ba'agala uv'izman kariv v'imru. Amen. Yehei shmei Rabbah mevorach le'olam olmei almaya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitramam v'yitnaseh v'yitadar v'yitale v'yitalel shmei dekudsha brichu le'ela minkol birchata v'shirata tushbechata v'nechamata da'amiran be'alma v'imru. Amen. Yehei shlama Rabba min shemaya V'chaim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru. Amen. Oseh shalom b'mromav hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael Beimru. Amen.
And so now everybody except for Elena and Mauricio should make 2 lines over there facing each other. So stand over there on the grass, make 2 lines facing each other. And now Elena and Maurice will walk through those 2 lines, and Marat is going to share with us the meaning. Marat?
Yes, and so this transition really marks the point at which the focus of those of us who are the friends and the family of Alexander, Elena, and Mauricio, the focus now becomes our role to take care of the mourners. And so now that the mourners depart the cemetery and they depart Alex's physical presence, we now greet them with the Hebrew saying, and I let's unmute everyone. Sorry, give me one moment to unmute everyone, because we will all together say the phrase. Join in if you can. Hamakom Yenachem Etem Betoch Shar Avlei Yerushalayim. I comfort you amongst the mourners of Zion and Jerusalem.
Okay, this concludes our service. We say to Elena, Mauricio, may you be comforted amongst all those who mourn for Zion and Jerusalem.
And everyone, just as a reminder that so Elena, first of all, if anyone would like to pay their respects to Elena over the coming days and weeks, she is accepting phone calls, and so it would be wonderful if folks want to reach out to her to offer words of comfort and support. And she will also be joining the synagogue prayer service to participate in the recitation of Kaddish for Alexander's neshama, for his soul as well.